Formaji YouTube video k lia oper jo tum ny story lik kdhs k oper tai men strong hook lik k do. Hook jandar. Suspenseful our curiosity si barpor hona chaye k mary vaur engage ho jn our video ko ntk deken wave tides of memory. The waves whispered against the shore. Their rhythm echoed deep inside her chest. Salt filled the air, sharp and heavy. It burned her throat as she breathed. The sand was cool beneath her feet. Each grain seemed to pulse, alive, trembling. It felt as though the beach itself was watching. She stared out at the sea. The water shimmered beneath the fading sun. But the light on the surface felt wrong. Too dark, too still. A shiver crawled across her skin. The waves no longer sounded like waves. They murmured, softly, steadily, like a voice trying to remember her name. Her heartbeat stumbled. She stepped closer to the edge. The wind carried the scent of something metallic. Something old. She knelt. Her fingers touched the water. It was colder than it should have been. Then, something touched back. She froze. The water rippled, though the air was still. Her reflection fractured into pieces. In those pieces, she saw movement. A face. Familiar. Drowned in time. Her pulse thundered in her ears. The sky dimmed, swallowed by gray. The tide pulled at her ankles, harder with each breath. She tried to step back. But the sand clung tighter. The sea rose higher, whispering louder now. And from beneath the surface, something began to rise. Wave Tides of Memory, Part 2. Something began to rise. Slowly, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. The surface quivered, and bubbles broke through in uneven bursts. The water was darker now, thick like ink spreading across a page. She took a step back. But the sand refused to let her go. It sucked at her heels, cold and relentless, anchoring her to the edge of the unknown. Her heart pounded so violently she thought it might burst. The whispering waves grew louder, blending with a sound that did not belong to the sea. A low hum, like a memory trying to find its shape. The scent of salt twisted into something else. Iron. Decay. The kind of smell that did not belong to the living. She wanted to scream, but the air was heavy, thick enough to drown her before the water did. Her mouth opened, and the wind silenced her with a single chilling breath. The thing beneath the water shifted again. A pale hand broke the surface. It glistened beneath the dying light. Skin stretched too thin over bone. Her breath hitched. That hand. She knew it. The scar across the wrist. The curve of the fingers. It was hers. Her own reflection rippled in the water. But there were two faces now. One above, one below. The one beneath smiled first. Her knees weakened. She stumbled, arms flailing for balance. Cold water splashed against her legs, biting through her clothes like a living thing. The whispering grew frantic, overlapping voices rising and falling. Words she could almost understand. They were calling her name. But not the way she remembered it. It sounded broken, like it had been forgotten for centuries and spoken for the first time again. She shook her head violently. Sand sticking to her hair, to her face, to the tears she hadn't realized were falling. No, she whispered, though the word vanished the moment it left her lips. The sea answered. A wave surged forward, swallowing her to the knees. The cold was unbearable. It crawled upward, seeping into her bones. The face beneath the surface opened its eyes. They were hers too, but clouded, hollow, as if filled with the weight of every forgotten moment she had ever tried to bury. And then she remembered. The crash. The screams. The storm that had torn through the bay years ago. The night she had lost them all. The sea had taken everything. Her mother's hand slipping from hers. The sound of her brother's voice disappearing in the wind. The silence afterward. She had sworn she would never come back. But the tides remember. They always remember. Her legs trembled. Half of her body now beneath the waves. The current